Well, in this topic, we are going to see something called as activity life cycle. So far, you have created lot many times activity, and you have seen this method on create, right? And you have seen this method. Today, you will come to know what do you mean by this method and why to override this method, right? Today, you will get to know this thing. Let us see one by one. Let me create new module first. Right click, new, and the module. Say next, and here I can name it as activity life cycle. Activity life cycle. Next, next, and say finish. So here I am going to create one module. I have already created. See, now there are few methods, callback methods in the activity life cycle, like on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, and on destroy. These are the different life cycle methods of the activity, right? So every single method is having some significance, and all these methods need to be called in the sequence. You're not going to call it. This is going to be done by the framework itself. You don't need to worry about that. But these methods would be getting invoked time to time, right? These methods are getting invoked time to time, right? So these are the life cycle callbacks. System is going to call these methods on the particular events. That is nothing but the callback is, right? Okay, now see what they have said: on create, on start, on resume, right? On create, on start, on resume. Activity is in the running state. From running state it will go to the pause, then stop, and then destroy. One life cycle. Then on pause, on stop, on destroy. So activity may go to the on pause, and from on pause it may directly go to the on resume. That is also one flow, right? From on pause it might go to the on stop. From on stop it might go to the on restart. Then on start, then again on resume. Then again on resume. Whenever activity is on the resume state, that is visible to the user. User is interacting with the activity. That's nothing but the on resume phase. Okay, so module might have been created. So let me override all the, what you can say, all the lifecycle hooks over here. You can say on start, on resume, on resume, right? On pause, on stop, and you can say on destroy. And one thing is nothing but on restart, right? On restart. Now here what I'm going to do is that I would be writing one utility method, public void empty, right? And I'm going to accept one string type of object over here, message. So toast is kind of notification that you will get to know at the time of notifications. What toast actually means, that a little message, uninterrupting message to the user is nothing but the toast. Okay, now here I'm going to do empty, and I'm just going to pass the message as on restart over here, on restart. Then same thing I'll do over here. Before on destroying, you need to call one method on destroy, right? Before on destroying, on destroy. Before stopping, you are going to call on stop, something like this, on stop, right? Before getting paused, you can have before or after, that's your business logic. On pause, then after getting displayed you need to show toast, and you can say on resume, after getting started you need to show one toast, and you can say on start, right? And here you can say empty, and you can say on create, and you can say on create, on start, on resume. Let me run the code and show you the output, what it is doing. Look at somewhere over here very keenly. Over here you would be getting one black box, right? And into that black box you would be getting one toast kind of thing, right? So it's installing the APK. You might check it over here. See now, as your activity would be getting started on create, on start, on resume, activity is in the foreground. Activity is interacting with the user. Now if I tap this back button, see what happens. On pause, on stop, on destroy, your activity has been destroyed. Your activity has been destroyed. Now if I open this once again, on create, on start, on resume. So one thing, back button kills your activity. On destroy is getting called. Now if I see this home button, see what happens. On pause, on stop, and activity is not getting destroyed, it is in the background. Activity still remains in the background. Okay, so if I open again activity lifecycle, look at the lifecycle. Restart, on start, on resume. It on create has not been called. Why? Because on destroy hasn't been called, and that's why on create has not been called, right? So you might be getting in the lifecycle flow. See, I'll show you once again. On the tap of back button or return button, on pause, on stop, on destroy. Once destroyed activity need to be recreated. So it is a recreated, right? Once, if activity is in the the stopped activity can be restarted. What I'm saying, stopped activity can be restarted, right? It is the restart. Okay, now here they have mentioned detailed significance of each method. Okay, you must implement this callback which fires when system creates the activity. On the creation, the activity enters into the created state, right? The activity entered into the created state, and here something called as bundle over here they have mentioned over here. So in this paragraph they have mentioned about both the things, what is on create and what is bundle. So bundle is related to the state. Very soon you will get to know when we are going to use the bundle. So bundle is the key value pair we have already seen at the time of interactivity communication, right? So bundle is the state. Before killing, this is getting saved, right? Okay, then on start you have defined over here, right? On start, and on start, when activity enters the started state, the system invokes this callback. System is going to invoke this callback whenever it is going to be entered into the started state. Call makes activity visible to the user, right? So this is the first step where your activity is going to be get visible, and here you can register what you can say broadcast receiver. So this is a great place to register your all broadcast receivers. Okay, on resume when activity enters into the resume state, it comes to the foreground. It is interacting with the user. That's what they have told over here. So on activity, if you have some business logic, means if activity is visible, then and only then do something, then write that code in on resume. They have given example of the camera, right? If activity is visible, then and only then what you can do, initialize the camera over here, right? So that's what they have told over here. For more details you can read this on your own. I have already read this. Okay, on pause method, right? So on pause method is there, right? So on pause is the first step where user is leaving the activity, right? When user is leaving the activity, if you want to get that callback, override the on pause over there, right? So they have given some example of over here. See, you need to release the resources which are not needed to the user, that need to be released, and such code you will do over here. It is exactly opposite to on resume, right? Then on stop is there, then on stop is also there. So on stop, right, your activity is no longer visible, that's nothing but the on stop. So entered into the stopped state, right? This may occur, for example, means from one activity you have started another activity, earlier activity will go in the on stop state if you have not finished that activity. That's what they have told over here, right? And here you can unregister the registered broadcast receiver in the on start, right? So they have said something over here like that. And on destroy, this method would be kill your activity and remove the object of activity from the memory. See, on destroy callback releases all the resources that not yet have been released by the on stop, something like that, right? So activity state ejection, you can see when activity is going to be get removed from the memory, that they have said over here. Now navigation between the activity, that we have already seen, means start activity and start activity for result, that we have already seen. Okay, now this is the thing. So activity life cycle is very important for the maintaining the state. Now how to maintain the state, that we will see. So remember that every method has its own significance. As you will go on typing the code, you will get to know which method is going to be, what you can say, which method is going to be called at what time, that you would be getting to know, right? Okay, now what I'm going to do is that, let me push this code, right, and we'll start with the next topic, which is nothing but state management. What is the state management? You will get to know in the next topic. So keep watching and subscribe us on the Code Cool channel.